Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? I hope you guys had a great day in the market. We had a pretty decent day today. Um, a day just like I like to have. Low stress. Uh, Eased on into the close and rode off into the sunset. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I want to let you know about this new course that I'm dropping starting December 11th. It's a trader tax course, and if you trade in an offshore account, you definitely want to be a part of this. Whether you're trading full time or you're just trying to make some extra cash for your retirement, or you're trying to get to be a full time trader, you're gonna experience the long arm of the IRS, and it does reach across the ocean. Believe me. But there's a multitude of tax implications that you're going to need to be aware of. And this 4-part course is going to take you from A to Z, cover all aspects of your potential tax liability, your responsibility as a taxpayer, and how to prepare for your upcoming tax year. Now, there are fines that can hit you for up to 10 grand. Believe me, I know. I know for a fact. So you don't want to miss this course, especially if you're trading in an offshore broker. Even if you're trading, here stateside, there are things that you need to know about, things that you may not know that can benefit you. So I spent a lot of time working on this, putting this together. I've been heading this direction for a long time, but I had to become a licensed financial advisor. I could not do this without getting my license. So I got everything squared away. We're dropping it on December 11th. It's going to be $249, and I can only have 28 people outside of the community that can come in. I've got to make sure I've got all the room for the members that are going to be in there, and I got to keep it small because I know you guys are going to have questions. We're going to have to take time and maybe go through something 2 or 3 times. If we have too many people, it just doesn't work. So it has to be small. It has to be focused, and because you only have one chance to get this right. So you will have access to the classes that will be recorded. You'll have access to the recordings, and throughout the year, as the tax code gets updated or things change, we will have sessions, and those will be recorded and in the library for you as well. So if you have any questions, email me, ed@AverageJoeTrader.com. I'll be glad to answer your questions and talk to you about it. But once this is full, it's going down, and that's it. All right, SWKS. Well, this is actually not the first trade I took, so let's look at the first trade. GOOS, this was the first one. Now, I was looking at SWKS and GOOS. These were my 2 main watches, and it was just a race to see which one was going to set up first. I jumped on GOOS. Of course, I jumped on the short, and it worked out pretty good. Now, I wasn't going to get it up here at the true 5-minute opening range low because we were still above the pre-market low. I respect this more than I respect some of these levels. So I had to wait, and once we broke through, I jumped on it, and we just started hitting targets. I kind of laid out the targets ahead of time before I even took this trade. I told you what targets we were looking for, and that's all we did, just hit targets. Now, this was going to be my final target, but it worked its way down here so good, I just left this thing on. It was still trending. As long as it's still trending and we didn't break trend, you need to ride it. Now, and I was telling you, the 9 was my trailing stop at this point. And right here, we did break above it, but this candle did not confirm it by trading higher, and it came down. I mean, I could have added here. I could have added here. And I still could have added back to this trade, but I didn't. I just let it play itself out. The next level down was around 32.85, and I honestly thought we would get it before the bounce, but didn't quite get there. We had this big bounce, and I was waiting to see if we were going to get a pullback. But this bounce, it rejected at the 20. This was definitely a lower high. So no indication that we're changing trend here. And we pulled back and started to consolidate around the 9. And we made a higher low bounce. And then we made a higher high. But, I got in a little bit too early. I took this off and then turned around and flipped it long. And, right in the same candle. But we did get some pullback. Now, the market does this shake and bake. That's why it's important to know what the average range of the previous 6 candles are, so you can make sure you have your stop wide enough not to get shook out. And we didn't get shook out of this. And it held, consolidated a little bit more, and then finally made it up to the 50. And I hate that, because you see how far the 50 was when I got in. But it pulled in and took a lot of that profit out of this. And, the VWAP was the next target. I thought we could get to the 100 today. So I left this last piece on, but we didn't make it. So I took it off right before the close. Really solid trade. I was really happy with this. One stock, traded it all day. But I did try to get a little greedy, because after this trade worked out and I grabbed a couple of profit targets, and I was saying this trade was going to be on autopilot, I could go in and take this one. And I got a piece of this. I was a little bit late getting in by about 15 cents or so, because I was still looking at GOOS, but I got in, and look at the move this thing made. Again, I had the right range on my stop. I didn't get shaken out. Got to this first target, but I short shifted this. I had this target too tight. I should have had this target a little bit further up, and I ended up getting it hit here, and because my target got hit, I have to take this off at break even. I can't let it go back and take the money off the table that I already locked in. So this is just a product of not being able to focus 100% on this. Even though I thought I could, GOOS was making such a good move, it just kept my attention. So really, really messed up on this. This was a beautiful, beautiful move up. It was a little choppy, but it never broke trend. It trended all day. The only time it really broke trend was right here. Basically right in here. This huge candle down. Probably would have taken it off around in here. The last piece of this. But both of these were on our watch. We were locked in on both of these, but I guess either way, either one I would have chosen would have been really, really good. So I'm happy. I'll take this and go. 993.65. I'm glad I don't watch my P&L, because I guarantee you, if I'd have seen this and saw 993.65 on one of those earnings trades, I probably would have got in after it made its move, looking for the bounce or the continuation, trying to make $1,000. I know me. That's why I don't look at my P&L. That's why I refuse to look at it until well after the fact, because I know I will jump in and try to trade something thinking that I know I'm the man, I can do this, I can do that, and really all you're going to do is put yourself in the worst situation. But that's my day. That's gonna do it for me. Just remember, if you're interested in that tax course, I don't know how fast it'll fill up, or it may not fill up at all. But only have 28 seats for you guys. And if you know anybody that's traded offshore, especially, and they need to know how to deal with all of this, this is for them. Point them in this direction. So Friday, I'll be here for a half a day. The Bear Bull traders and Andrew invited me to hang out with them this weekend. We'll be in Clearwater Beach, Florida. So if you're close, come down and give me a holler. I'll be there hanging out. I don't plan to get so drunk that I can't function. So I can't do that anymore. Somehow I became allergic to alcohol. I don't even know how that happened. But it is what it is. So I'll be there. But I will do the show, our market analysis and swing trade show that I always do on Sunday. I'll just be doing it from the beach. But you guys have a great night, great evening, and I will catch you tomorrow morning.